What it is, y'all, it is your old boy Pilk, and I'm coming back at you today with more Danmachi, and today we're talking about 7th Zone. Now, yes, this is not a failed, or this is not a successful 7th Zone attempt. Basically, we'll look at the team that I built here, and then we'll go to another team that is successful, that's actually capable, surprisingly, of an S-Clear. And we're going to talk about the differences and some of the team building aspects that have gone into this. Now, I have A-cleared this with this team before, and I'll show you that here in a moment. But let's go ahead and I'm just going to do an attack with her. I'm going to go ahead and do Wrathbringer with him. Yeah. Now, this isn't really going to solve anything. This isn't going to get us anywhere. Yuri, unfortunately, Bet, because it's the werewolf Bet, unfortunately doesn't quite have the power to eke this out. I'm lacking about 1,000,000 damage out of him. Now, with this same team, with this same build, with the max limit broken assists, we have already achieved an A clear. And I really believe we can achieve an S clear with the other team I'm about to show you. Now, this is the team we're using. If you remember last time, instead of Ryulu in the front, I actually had the max limit broken Hestia. I had actually used in my prior run the Hestia that wasn't max limit. She was only +4, but I really took you guys' comments and criticisms to heart, and so I'm trying to limit the amount of max limit broken units we use. In fact, you'll notice the MLB'd Finn up there, the new Finn unit. He's actually in place on this team as a sack. We're using the revolving anklet on him just because I wanted to try to produce as much damage as possible. Now, Finn is the cornerstone of my next team, but being max limit broken, I kind of wanted to try different things out. Finn has not only a really crazy attack, but he also has physical and light resist -30%. So we were using that in conjunction with the werewolf Bet over there. Now, Bet, I didn't even realize he's not... Oof. You know what's absolutely hilarious here? He doesn't even have any potential in him. I should have given him some Ascension. If this Bet had Ascension, and I had a couple more MLB'd assists, we'd be in a good place. Now, with these exact same assists, I'll show you the other team that I was using. Okay? So this is the other team, and I'm going to go ahead and call it back up with all the equipment and everything. Okay? Now, I know you guys are already going to complain, oh, Finn is max limit broken, suddenly it's not a free-to-play team. Well, I'm not going to deny that I did out-and-out buy every copy of Finn that I've got. I did not use free-to-play Iris for him. If you are extremely good with your savings and extremely picky about your units, you can max limit break a unit. Now, this exact team build, if your Finn is +3 or even +2 with full Ascension, he should probably be able to clear this event, and I'll show you why. Let's go ahead and jump in here. Now, first of all, this is the same basic arrangement we've been using. The 2 Haruhimes here, OG Haruhime in the front, and the Winter Haruhime in the rear. Okay. Now notice I'm not saying this is a free-to-play team. I'm gonna throw that entire concept out here. What I'm talking about is, once again, concepts. OG Haruhime is gonna be there for the heals, as is Winter Haruhime. OG Haruhime has the debuff and the buff replication. Winter Haruhime has the MP regeneration, and she removes all of your buffs and debuffs. Well, 2 turns thereof, but after the first turn, they're gone. Okay, now Ryulu, who's on OG Haruhime, Ryulu does, bam, damage received, attack all targets increases by 10% and guard rate -20% for all foes. So it's going to reduce our foes' guard rate, and it is going to increase the amount of AOE damage that they all receive. That's actually super good. Once again, we have the Artemis assist on Finn, and that's just going to increase his strength up 20%, and that's going to be extremely substantial, which you can see is his strength is already insane. Okay? Now, Winter Haruhime, we already talked about her, and she's got Casino Seer for the extra 100% SA gauge charge. If your Casino Seer is not max limit broken, that is fine. She's still like a 60-something percent SA gauge charge. That will still be good for basically, whereas I'm not, like, I think you'll get one less SA than I'm going to get here. Not even that. In fact, you just might get it like on turn 16 rather than 15. Either way, if your Casino Seer is not max limit broken, that is fine. She's not mandatory to be max limit broken. You'll just get an SA like a turn or two later than I normally would. Now, normally we reserve the third slot for debuffing, since Finn already does this debuffing, and the other option would be to go in here and grab somebody that does type all targets plus 30%. That's basically all damage received by your foe plus 30%. That's flippin' huge. She also reduces guard rate 30%. So we already like dropping the guard rate and dropping the and increasing AOE damage on our unit. You'll notice she was also in use with Bet. I really feel like if I went back and did Bet, if I gave him some Ascension, he might actually be able to eke it out, but I'd have to use the max limit break Hestia to do it. Really tempted to try that out. If you guys want to see that test, we can do that on stream here in just a few minutes. But so for slot 3, I needed something a little bit different. Now Ryu has, what was she doing? Oh, so she does physical attack and strength minus 35% for 2 turns. Now you'll notice basically what I was doing with her is I was using her as my debuffer rather than Haruhime. That means on that first turn where we come in with Haruhime and we do her, we do the 40% strength of magic, we can actually negate that and we can go ahead and increase the counter rate on this turn. And that's going to be super, super handy going into the rest of the event. So then I can go ahead and here, if my screen ever comes back, go ahead here and use Ryu to reduce to 35%. It's still going to be more than enough to reduce the incoming damage. One of these days I'll get my phone fixed. One of these days. I'm just going to start compiling all these videos and sending them to Samsung and begging for a new phone. Neither here nor there. Here we go. So with Finn, if you, once again, I want to preface this by saying if your Finn is not max limit broken, he will still be fine, and you'll see what I mean by that as we get into this. So here we go. Finn is going to boost his strength and light damage 60%, and I'm going to go ahead and do physical resist, magic resist 35% with this Haruhime. We don't necessarily need that yet, but it is going to help us survive a little bit. And the main reason I'm going to do that is because these worms hit stupid hard. Now, Finn is not your only option here. You have several different types of options. Obviously, I was using Bet. You got to use Light, though. The other option is, and I'll show you kind of an alternative thing you could do, and it was brought up in the last video, and I haven't really mentioned it because it's only so effective. So the type resistance is down 60%. The other thing to consider, these are worm creatures. So if you use someone that has the worm killer skill, you still could take them out. Now, it's going to take you an exceptionally long amount of time without the element advantage. The problem is they're going to buff their element resistance 100%. So you're going to need an absolute ton of physical attack damage. You know, your Atarals and people like that, they might be able to manage it, but you've really got to buff them to the absolute moon, and you've got to have the perfect situations, and their guard rates have to be like next to 0. You can use worm killers. And in fact, Otaral's not even a worm killer. Who's the worm killer? Well, Minotaur was an example. Bad example, but he was an example. I don't remember who all the worm killers are. You can actually search that up. But you use a worm killer unit. In fact, hilariously enough, this Chigusa is a worm killer. And you'll see the difference when she comes in here in a moment. She'll actually do a decent amount of damage. Not substantial, but decent. Okay? Once again, I'm going to reduce guard rate and attack all targets. And on this one, I'm going to go ahead and do Snow Silver. So we reduce that. So you've got lots and lots of options. You can use a light unit. You can use a worm killer unit. I will tell you from experience, worm killers just aren't horrendously effective unless they're completely maxed out. I've tried it with the +4 and fully maxed out, or I say fully ascended. The bell unit, that's a worm killer. I believe it's the water bell. He was producing 0.5 mil per SA, but it really wasn't enough. You need 10 SAs to do it that way. Now, if the Hestinef was fully ascended, if I was able to reduce water resistance ever so vaguely, and we were really lucky, more or less, it's possible. But I don't recommend it. I really recommend going with a light unit. It's gonna serve you so much better. And once again, if you have Finn, he's like the best of the best. Okay. One thing I realized I haven't done is I haven't reduced the dark resistance. So we're gonna go ahead and do that on this turn. We should have done it turn 2, and we didn't. And I'm gonna go ahead and do Dancing Snow. Actually, you know what? We don't need to do that yet. We don't need to do that because the worms are going to buff all of their skills. Obviously, you'll see now that every element is 110% up. And they get a strength and magic buff with all the debuffs we have in play. We're not losing sleep over it. Now, Chigusa is going to come in and she's going to do her 100% SAH charge. Chigusa is a worm killer. So by turn 4, she's going to be producing 100k per turn. That still is not nearly enough. But also remember, she doesn't have a lot of buffs. So it's a thing. It's a substantial thing, and it's a nice thing. All right. Now, the main thing is I'm going to go ahead and just keep doing the MP regeneration. It's going to be super important for us. So I'm going to go back here to, oops. A little leftover allergy nonsense. I'm going to go back to Tactical Insight. Almost called it Tactical Twilight. Tactical Insight. And that's going to give us our main super light attack with him. We're going to do Ice Blade. We're going to keep basically spamming Ice Blade. And we're going to do Snow Silver. And this is just basically going to keep all of our units in the damage range. Okay? Snow Silver, obviously, with the Winter Haruhime being her MP regeneration skill. We're going to be basically using that a lot. Now, unlike previous 7th zones, you'll see we're taking a lot of damage here. Periodically, we're taking a lot of damage at least. I think they ramped the damage back up on these guys because it's maybe been too easy in the previous ones. I don't know. It feels like these are producing more damage than they were last time. I don't know if that's just perception or whatever, but it's the way it seems. Let me know what y'all feel. But defenses on this one, unlike the previous one, are definitely paramount. You need defenses absolutely critically. All right. On turn 5, I'm going to do Dancing Snow. I'm going to keep Ice Blade, Tactical Insight, and Yosuga in play. And then the main reason we're going to do Dancing Snow is because we need to remove any kind of debuffs that would be on our units before the next turn. Because on this turn, we're going to do a double SA with Haruhime and with Finn. Okay? I'm going to go ahead and go back to Snow Silver and keep Ice Blade basically spammed with Chigusa just as long as I possibly can. And this is when Finn comes into a whole other category of unit. He's going to start producing absolutely insane damage from this point on. Now, you'll still notice when Chigusa hits, she's basically getting crits, and that's because she has that worm killer skill. Alright, so here we go. Get it! Alright. Nice. Hit one for almost a mil. That's beautiful. That's absolutely gorgeous. Love to see that. Love to see that. That's that guard rate reduction in play right there. That is 100% the guard rate reduction in play. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and go back to doing Yosuga. I'm going to go back to doing Tactical Insight, Ice Blade, Snow Silver. Almost forgot the name of the attack. And you'll see that their health is absolutely melting away at this point. Now, once again, it's worth noting with those red hits we're seeing, those are Chigusa's Worm Killer skill in play. You can definitely see, if you pay attention to the damage difference that we're seeing on this run versus the previous, is a big, 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 big change. I am noticing that Chigusa's starting to take extra damage, and I noticed she didn't get the main buff here. So I'm going to go ahead and do Snow Illusion on this turn. In fact, no, I'm not. I'm going to do Dancing Snow, and I'm going to play it a little bit high and loose. I'm going to do Dancing Snow because then turn 9 I'm going to need to do another SA with Finn. So let's go ahead and do this. Did she just counter for 200k? Or was that... It seems high. That must have been 20k. That must have been 20k. That's got it. I must have seen that wrong. All right. So we're going to go ahead and do another SA with Finn. Ice Blade still in play. And I'm going to go back to Snow Silver. Bam. Now, the only downside to this is because the way I have Chigusa set up, Chigusa does not have a stun anklet. I didn't mention it in the beginning, but you do definitely need stun anklets on all of your units. Big time. These units will stun you, and they will mercilessly stun you. So if you don't have those, you're definitely losing out. Yeah, that was 20k. I feel like she hit harder before. I really feel like I saw better numbers out of her before. Anyway, a lot of that just comes down to the simple fact that she has got a water element type, not a light element type, and their resistance is through the damn roof. Alright. So I'm going to go back to doing Twilight Insight, Ice Blade, and Snow Silver. And we should, hopefully, have this done in 2 more SAs, or at least pretty darn close to that. Alright. Oops. And that is a mosquito biting me in the chin. Good times. Good times, that. So, the long and the short of it here is we're just trucking along. I'm going to go ahead and do Sheikah, Tactical Insight one more time, Ice Blade, and this time I'm going to do Dancing Snow. You want to be pretty diligent with removing the debuffs, which is mainly what I'm doing here with Haruhime. It also, Winter Haruhime. It also has the effect of removing their buffs, but I'm not as worried about their buffs. It's mostly the debuffs that I'm really, really, really concerned with. All right. Perfect. Bam. And I'm going to go back to Snow Silver and then Yosuga. So this a lot like everything we've done before. Now, once again, I will be the first to admit, using this Finn is a bit, I won't say overkill, because it can be really nice when I get my S clear here in a minute. But using this Finn is, like, most certainly the easy road. This guy is a monster at this event. He is just ridiculous. So once again, if you have like a dupe or two in him, and he is completely ascended, you'll have no problems with this event. You'll easily get the A clear, easily, without question. and if you use this tactic. Now, all right, so I'm going to go back to Twilight Insight. Yep, and we're just going to go ahead and do Dancing Snow so we get an essay in turn 14. Perfect. Perfect. So, once again, the main thing here to notice with Finn, and I really kind of wish I had a Finn that was only +2 or 3 to show you how you'd be able to do this. Do take my word for it. It is completely within the realm of... All right, damn it. What are you doing? I got little time to get this video out, and I'm getting attacked by a mosquito. I'm clearly going to have to squish this thing before stream starts. All right. Bam, we got one foe left. So we can actually switch now over to Finn's single target skill. Boom. And we can do her single target skill. It won't make much of a difference, though. And we can, in fact, just do attacks now. So, bam. Look at that. Oh no. Oh. RNGesus does not love me. I was robbed of my S-Clear. Robbed of my S-Clear. Nevertheless, you can kind of see there, it is completely within the realm of possibility to beat this. I had a higher score last time with the A-Clear. That's very odd. Though I'm not... Once again, I'm not really going for score. Score is not the main focus here. It is getting the win just so you get the item. So if you guys are looking for a team to build, either one of these teams are absolutely good. I wish I had paid enough attention and actually had Bet Ascended. But the reality is he didn't get enough damage out. He was lacking a total of 1,000,000 damage. And that is going to be pretty substantial. It's going to be a hard thing to acquire that much damage fairly quickly. The fact of the matter is, Finn is just... Like, look at Finn. Finn has literally twice the stats he does. So... Or at least twice the strength he does. Well, not even that. Not even that. I may want to come back and revisit this, because I'd be really interested to see if I gave him some Ascension Fallen. I just got him to +3 stars, if we get that extra mil out of him. But again, that is probably 150 to 200k more per attack. So he might need another... He might need another bond, and I really want to kind of play with that. So we're going to play with that on stream, actually. I'm going to mess with this on stream. But for now, this still works. Debuff your foe. Debuff physical and light, or magic and light, whichever unit you're going to use. Then debuff your... what does she do? Guard rate... and the AOE damage. In fact, she can almost become a staple of these teams completely. If you can find somebody that debuffs physical and or magic, and whatever type you got, and then throw her on these teams, she's the absolute staple. This is that new the new eyes. I can't talk tonight. What is wrong with me? I really should redo this video, but I am so low on time before the stream. In fact, I'm late for the stream already, so I'm just going to go ahead and get this out. She can become a staple of this. Where Finn is at, just debuff either physical and magic and whatever type you got, and then use your best hitter you've got for that type. You will be good to go. This is, for all intents and purposes, the new AOE go-to team. We're going to test this out with the other one here in just a couple of days, and you'll notice that I tried to use as few max limit break assists as possible, though I will say the more you've got, the better, as far as, anytime, that's just given, but Artemis, you need Max Limit Broken just to get the most out of her. If you don't have her Max Limit Broken, definitely, and if you don't have her, in fact, hopefully have her. If you don't have her, she's definitely one to start throwing some Prism Bonds in. Casino Seer and her I use all the time, and even this new Freya, they're just staples of almost every team I build. So if you don't have those three, make them your absolute priorities. You'll enjoy 7th Zone a lot more if that's the case. Anyway, Haruhime, Winter Haruhime. The new eyes, and either Chigusa or the light Tione. And then obviously where Bet is, you just need your best hitter. Where Finn is, you just need your best debuffer. There we go, y'all. That is the video. Like, comment, share. I'll be back with you guys here shortly with the live stream, actually. So hope to see you then. I left my trackball over there. I really should edit this, but I'm not going to. I gotta be real.